Okay, so let's take a little look at the Roadkill RX7, how it arrived to us. It's in pretty decent shape for what we want to do with it, and I'll just show you around. Okay, as you can see, all the original stickers, as you saw in the episode, from the Optima Streetcar Invitational, are still on the car. A couple of interesting things. We've got 3 what look like pretty good tyres, and 1 junk tyre. It's probably not from burnouts because this thing has a limited slip. Had to do a few things to get it running, to get it on the trailer and into the shop here. At some point the key was lost to this vehicle, so I have to change the door locks, but also the wiring has been a bit butchered, and the console. So what we've you have to use a screwdriver because that's been happening quite a lot. It's now broken off there. And we found some other wiring issues. To get it running, we had to hot wire from the fuse block here back to the fuel pump, which we find a few really cool US only things. So you can see in Australia, if you're an RX7 person, you're familiar with the back seats. Well, in the US they have these little trays. I had to pull the little compartments out to hot wire that fuel pump. Seats are pretty wrecked. I think the interior, while it's cool, this being a US only interior, I do like it. It's pretty far gone. If you could smell it over the camera, you would realise I should probably be pulling the carpet. And if we're going to do all the power tour in this thing, to make it a little bit better inside, I have to pull both door cards because the windows seem to have an issue, probably just off the tracks, but we'll find out. And there's some more wiring issues we found up under the front. You can see it looks like something being chewed through that wiring loom, or it's hard to quite tell. And also had to rewire the starter motor. Just get this. To get it running. What looked like it happened at some point in this vehicle's life, probably in the last year, all the wires that connect to the starter motor and the transmission have been left hanging down, and the car was towed, probably flat towed, and they all sort of had worn off. So we found the starter motor wire and hooked it back up. We're good to go there. Other than that, the engine does run. It idles kind of poorly, particularly when cold. Probably due to the fact some of these vacuum lines are loose, but that's okay. It seems to rev up pretty nice. The trans and clutch feel like they might be okay, but we know from Roadkill Extra video, thanks to Steve Dulcich, that we likely will need to do the clutch and transmission. And all of this carburetor and pollution gear is coming off anyway. Bit of an oily mess. I think a lot of it's because of this, hopefully a lot of it's because of this, what we call in Australia Series 3. Over here it would be FB oil cooler, which is sometimes referred to as a beehive cooler because it looks like a beehive. They often leak. There's a lot of oil all around here. Hope that's where it's coming from. I hope we don't have any sort of engine issues. I think should be lucky. It ran pretty well. Alright. There we go. Alright. Got it. I'll get that out of the way. I am very interested to look at this clutch. So, let's see if we can get in there. Yeah, it's pretty worn. But it's not that bad. Yeah, it's pretty worn, but not terrible. Surprised it was slipping as bad as it was. Wouldn't have thought. I don't know. It's always a chance someone replaced this in the trans and we didn't drive it much because the carburetor didn't seem to be happy. But I doubt it. I think, yeah, I've definitely seen much worse. It is completely worn out near the edges, I suppose. I've seen worse clutches before though. That's not too bad. Engine is really oily. I think it's got a leaky oil metering pump and also a leaky oil cooler. And it's just caked on this oil. So I'm going to clean it up the best I can. The good news is it seemed to run okay and I turned it over and all the apex seals look pretty good. So we're just going to clean it up and pull it apart. We've got a new oil pan to go on from Racecast. We've got an intake manifold from Racecast. And we're going to take the front cover off because I think it is leaking a little bit from around there. Can't hurt to replace that gasket as well. And hopefully we have a cleaned up, good running 12A. Alright, doesn't look too bad. One more part for the pile of bits we don't need. Doesn't look too bad. See how we go. That's the oil metering pump drive out. So you've probably heard of people talk about oil metering pump delete. So that's exactly what we're doing here. So we'll take oil metering pump out. Of course it would be easier if we had the right tools, but screwdriver did the job today. Sit over there. Okay, so now we'll clean the front cover up and we're good to go. The foamy one works pretty well, but it smells like rotten apples. So we're fitting one of our Racecast aluminium sumps or oil pans to this engine. We make these ourselves in the foundry in Melbourne. Every rotary owner knows this pain of searching for a 54mm socket and trying to get this nut off. Alright, Harbour Freight to the rescue. That was a lot easier. I remember the first engine I rebuilt, I had no idea how to get this off. I didn't even know what size it was, and we used a chisel. That was about 20 years ago now. We have access to better equipment. So that's good. How can you reuse this? Here's what I bought in my bag from Australia. This is a hybrid turbo. It's the back half is a Series 5 13B turbo, so a little larger for a 12A, so that should be good. And the modification we've done here is we remove the back plate and make the wastegate go directly into a flange for the whole dump pipe together. That flows a little better than stock, and the front flows much better than stock with this Garrett front cover. Don't know how well this is going to go. We haven't run this turbo before, so let's see. Okay, we'll tighten the bottom, then we're done. RX7 is officially turbocharged. This is one of the IDA intake manifolds that we make in Australia for the rotary engine. You can order these online for 12A right through to the Renesis. But obviously this is the 12A model. Let's put this on the car. It's throttle body time, and we have in our hands here the latest and greatest from EFI Hardware, one of our partner companies in Australia. You can buy these on our manifolds direct from efihardware.com. Really, really nice setups. This billet one now has a tapered bore. They've done some testing with this. It does produce more power, particularly in naturally aspirated applications where you get this really sweet trumpet that matches up perfectly with the tapered bore. I can't think of anything better for nice peripheral port rotary than something like this. But we are running turbo, so we can't use the beautiful trumpets. We have this. Our friend Gary yesterday showed off his cool drag stuff. It also helped us weld this up. New flange to suit the new throttle body onto our plenum. It's going to go like that. We're just going to run a pipe over the side. So let's get installing. Last thing we need to do is put fuel injectors in the thing. Now I always buy my fuel injectors from Fuel Injector Clinic. I do that because yes, they are Bosch injectors. They only charge a little bit more than Bosch would anyway, and they'll give you a match set with the data, and they do flow a little better too. So these are the data sheets you get. They have probably hundreds of fuel injectors from Bosch, and they pair them up with the ones that are close. You get a little graph there to show how close your injectors are, that you've got a match set. But more importantly, you get this data table for the dead time per voltage, and also you get another table for flow. You put that directly in your Haltech engine management system. This makes for a much easier tune. It's much easier to get your idle tuning right, your tune to not change when when your engine management system has to adjust for hotter climates, colder climates, hot days, warm up, cold start, all of that type of stuff is a lot better if your ECU doesn't have to do extra compensation work, and that's achieved by putting the right data in the ECU in the first place. Because the interior on the RX7 was pretty nasty, we've pretty much pulled the whole interior out, and we're just going with a real stripped down look. We went to Techno Toy Tuning and ordered some of these sheet metal door cards. They're powder coated, like a nice ripple finish. They look really good, and because the standard door cards normally go up over the top here, they've given us this little billet piece that you slide down and install over there. It's a little hard to get in, so I'll show you how to do that. And then we'll install these door cards. So you're going to pull the door lock out. I found it's best to pull the door lock out, then put the window down, hammer the seal in, and then this actually needs a little bit of maneuvering or straightening on that shaft. So first thing we'll do, we'll pull the lock mechanism apart.
Lots of pretty colors. Lots of wires.
What you doing?
Wiring in the Haltech, and looks like we've got a lot to go. We're actually pretty far through. We got a lot of the Ron Francis done, all of the dash set up with Deutsch connectors from our friends at Wirecare, and just going through figuring out which holes in the firewall to send which wires from the Haltech through to wire up for the engine loop. So, going well. We're wiring up this Haltech boost control solenoid, and we can control boost level or maximum boost level based on the amount of E85 or ethanol in the fuel tank, which offers a bit of cooling. So we'll probably go to 14-15 psi, maybe more with E85, but be able to keep it more stock between 7 and 10 with petrol in the tank. So flex fuel sensor tells us how much ethanol is in the fuel, and boost control solenoid lets us put more boost in when we have a better fuel. It's less prone to detonation. Getting there. And that is the last wire in the Ron Francis bare bones wiring kit.
The control center.
The control center.
So a lot less loose wires hanging about.
Yeah, pretty much it's ready to start. I kind of want to wrap that main line with something to make it look better.
Mm.
Suspension, box of stuff, and I hope this is a drive shaft. Feels like a drive shaft. Yep, a drive shaft. Alright, all good to go. Grease in my bushes. When we took the Mustang on power tour, it squeaked the whole way because I didn't put enough grease on them. We'll see if we have a squeaky power tour car this time. One of the benefits that we had of having the higher model 84 RX7 is it's got the limited slip differential. With that comes the larger axles. So I've got this for comparison here. I've never worked with one of these rear ends before, so I just wanted to measure it. It's 1.069 inches. Right, 27 mil. So let's compare that to a 9-inch rear end. This is the smaller size 9-inch axle, which is 30.5 mil, or 1.2 inches. So these are actually pretty big for an old rotary. I think they look to me to be about the same size as 13B RX4 rear ends, and I've run 13B turbos with drag radials on those without a problem before. You can't go too crazy on the launch, but these should be good. Definitely a lot better than if we didn't have the limited slip with the large axle rear ends in the Series 2 RX7s. Really weren't that good. I don't know how the guy managed to do this, but this lower control arm is bent. Okay, so we've got the mace map loaded and we've got the idle tuned. She's idling pretty well, and we've got oil pressure, so time to take it out for a spin. Just working on the tune. We didn't get time to tune it before we left, so working on the tune. It's about 200 highway miles, all going well, good temperature, good oil pressure. Highway tune's obviously really good by now because we played around with that and used the long-term fuel trim to get a nice lean cruise. We're getting about high 30s in the miles per gallon, which is pretty amazing for a turbo rotary, but we haven't got into the boost much because it's sitting a little rich in the boost areas, so I'm going to play around with that now and see how we go.
Outside for a year.
Well, I had to run the wire. I have to check out the wire. I had to rewire the whole car.
Oh yeah, the dash got all hacked. Yeah, the dash is nice.
Yeah, thanks. And you know how I had a key loss, so I got crashed?
Oh, it's crashed.
Well, I pulled the tank to put a Holly pickup in on a Max, and there's a little magnet thing with keys in it. Yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, she makes huge. This is still the same engine.
Yeah.
We made 201 horsepower.
Yeah, at the tire?
At the tire.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Well, we got a little hot intake temps, hotter than I'd like. So the guys at Haltech sent us off with some M1, which has been sitting behind Audrey for the rest of our tour. So we're going to use it today. We were going to hook up Frank Sapporo's old alcohol injection pump, but we just realized the whole fuel system's methanol safe, so screw it. Let's just put methanol in the tank and go down the track at Summit. A little premix. Still getting used to my American units. I'm getting 5 of this and that. ran the car down the track at the last venue, a power tour. We ran a 13.9. The goal was 13s, or at least my mental goal was 13s. I'm pretty happy with this. We took the Roadkill RX7, bolted the turbocharger on it, put fuel injection on it, took it to power tour, ran a 13 at Summit Motorsports Park. Pretty happy with this.